Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, March 2nd. I'm Patricia Ballone.
And I'm Denise Douglas. So glad you could be with us this evening. Maryland's congressional delegation is taking a stand against hate crimes. Republican and Democratic members have sent letters to the U.S. Attorney and the head of the FBI in Baltimore. Officials are asking for a full investigation into recent anti-Semitic incidents. The delegation is also calling for full use of the Justice Department's resources to prosecute crimes of hate and violence in the state. The effort is being led by Senators Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen.
We've seen an outrageous increase in hate crimes. And targeted in many cases against the Jewish community, desecrating cemeteries, other forms of hate. We need to speak out immediately. We need to be vigilant, and we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to find the perpetrators of these crimes and make sure that they're punished.
Jewish day schools in Maryland and Virginia were among the many nationwide that received bomb threats on Monday. Governor Larry Hogan is also speaking out against recent anti-Semitic incidents in Maryland. Bomb threats were made against the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School and the Greater Washington Jewish Community Center in Rockville. Hogan says these acts are despicable and unacceptable. He says the state police will assist local authorities with their investigation if needed. Meantime, officials are also investigating threats made against two Muslim community centers in Silver Spring.
Well, some call it marijuana, others call it weed. Either way, the thorny issue was the focus of a hearing in Annapolis this afternoon. Several marijuana bills are on the agenda, including one that would allow the recreational use of the drug in Maryland. AAA Mid-Atlantic is against the measure.
We're concerned about the fact that in the haste to try to legalize marijuana in the state of Maryland for recreational use, that people will not pay careful heed to the traffic safety implications. And we know that drug driving is becoming a growing problem on our highways, not only across the nation, but also across the region.
Another measure, Senate Bill 999, would change the way medical marijuana growing licenses were awarded. None were given to minority-controlled companies.
My major objection to anything that has happened as it relates to cannabis is the fact that it just deleted women, minorities. Nobody's here. I mean, on a nation that was built on the backs of black folk, I just don't see how we can, as a progressive state, stand here and tolerate the current condition and the selection of the cannabis.
A hearing is scheduled in the House tomorrow.
A review board looking into how lawmakers use county vehicles met in Upper Marlboro last night. 9 council members and some administrators have full-time access to county cars or can get a $10,000 allowance. The creation of the review board came after council member Mel Franklin got into an accident while in a county car and was charged with driving under the influence.
We thought these particular pages were important to go over the mobility, which is essential for county executive and county council member job functions. It breaks down the 4 vehicle options for elected officials. Option number 1, workday use. Option number 2, mileage reimbursement. Option number 3, take-home assignment. And option number 4, automobile allowance.
The 3-member panel will have until the end of June to make changes to the program.
The state's top leader was out and about today from Annapolis to Prince George's County. While taking a reprieve from politics as normal, we did manage to get him on one important topic, the school voucher program. Middle and high school students cheered on Governor Larry Hogan this morning as he spent much of the day with children and teens. His first stop was just steps away from the governor's mansion, where a rally was held on Lawyers Mall. It was all part of Non-Public School Advocacy Day. Charter schools have been a source of contention along party lines recently. Just this week, Democrats held a press conference calling for the repeal of the school voucher program.
The fact is, private funding for school vouchers would not have fit in the budget if funding for public after-school programs, college readiness scholarships, and other programs designed specifically for low-income students had not been eliminated from Governor Hogan's budget.
Very little engine came, chugging merrily along.
CTV News caught up with the governor at Cornerstone Christian Academy in Bowie, where he visited kids for Read Across America Day. Hogan talked about the school voucher controversy.
The bill was introduced by the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate last year, had 8 Democratic sponsors, and was voted for by every single member of the legislature. And now some of them are trying to change their mind, but we thought it was a good idea. I've always said, it doesn't matter to me which side of the aisle the ideas come from. If it works, we're going to support it. This was a program that helped a lot of kids that otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity to get a good education. And we're just trying to add a couple of $1 million so we can help more kids.
And Hogan finished his morning at Beacon Heights Elementary School in Riverdale, where he once again spent time reading to young children. And the coalition of lawmakers and organizations delivered a joint letter to House offices on Tuesday urging delegates to eliminate the school voucher program known as Boost and to return the $7 million to public schools. Well, a Laurel youth coach has been indicted on sex assault charges. 35-year-old Warner Murphy is accused of sexually abusing a family member and the victim's friend. Now, authorities say the charges stem from incidents in the family home last November. State's Attorney Angela Alsobrooks calls Murphy a predator and says he will be held accountable. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Denise Douglas.